Stu, you know that saying that when the going gets tough, the tough get going?
Yeah, I've heard it.
Well, I'm going to switch that up a bit and say when the going gets tough, the tough get making things beautiful. Think that'll work?
It's not quite as catchy.
Well, I still think there's something to be said for it.
Oh, it smells so good out here.
This is a time of year where we're certainly growing potatoes and cabbages and carrots and worrying about storing up for the next winter ahead. But there's still a lot of space for beautiful things around the home and in the garden, not only to lift our spirits, but to provide our home with an atmosphere where we want to be and where there is great joy. And sometimes it's simple pleasures like a nice new pair of pruners. I mean, come on. Don't you just want to go and garden with those? A few little treats to pave the road for the work ahead, as it were.
A farmer's only as good as his tools, right?
That's right.
You're gonna have to bring those big bags of soil over. If you're not sure where you should plant your roses, putting them in a movable container is a really great option because then you can move them around, and when they start to look really good midsummer, you can bring them out to full show. And when they look like this, like a typical bare root rose looks when you plant it, you can maybe hide them somewhere a little bit more inconspicuous in your garden. These are just going into straight potting soil. These are some beautiful varieties that I got from Breck's. We have Julia Child, which is this one, which is a beautiful yellow rose. And then going into this pot is Anna's Promise. If you live in a really wet area, put some drainage in the bottom of your pots if you're gonna be putting roses in. We live in a very, very dry area, so as long as we don't overwater, this is not gonna get soggy. One thing I will do to these potted roses is put some sand or some mulch over the top of the soil because this will help to retain moisture, keep it from drying out, and also protect you from getting splashed with dirt if it rains or when you're watering it. I happen to have this big pile of rocks in my driveway from a different project up with the grapevines, so I'm just going to use this as my mulch. Rocks are awesome for that. The bonus of this project is when your gym is closed. Check this out. Nailed it. This variety of rose is a compact bush variety, but if you want a beautiful rose to be climbing up your house, just stick your whiskey barrel or pot right up next to your house and you can use that to plant your rose in just the same. I love that this rose is called Julia Child because I'm gonna put her right next to the chicken coop where all of our eggs come from, because I feel like that's something she would have liked. Either the chicken coop or the dairy, both of which I think she would have approved. This is a really magnificent time of year because it feels like every hour that you come out to the gardens, there's something else to be discovered. Things are changing so fast, and anytime there's a warm day, it's like the garden just explodes. So I'm gonna take you around a quick little tour and show you a few of my favorite pockets of that beauty right now. All right. One of the things that we finally did this year like adults was put down proper rock in our garden pathways. So this is our little kitchen garden where we can just venture out with the basket and grab a few things for the supper table. Until now it's been weed tarp, and then it was bark that sort of dissolved really quickly. But this year we got some local rock to lay down, which will last for a lot longer. And I know it's gonna get grown in and all jungly at some point in the summer, but for now, I'm really appreciating the clean lines of something, just for a moment. I think for about the last 3 gardening seasons, I've been trying to get some snowdrops to take hold here. We're just so hot and so dry, which is not what a snowdrop loves. But this year, my snowdrops that I planted last year decided to make a late appearance. So they are a very welcomed face in the garden. And to boot, our first Queen of the Night tulip bloomed today. These little black tulips right here. And that is always a gift. I am crazy about these tulips. This is an area of the potager garden that I'm particularly in love with right now. For starters, our honeyberry bush is blooming, and we've seen our first bumblebees of the season come and visit the blossoms. I can see this bush from my kitchen window, which makes it really entertaining to watch. And then on top of that, we have this beautiful Jack Frost blooming alongside the yellow daffodils. So you get this really beautiful European blue and yellow color combination for just a short window of time in the spring. Can you hear the birds? They're really singing. There's a few really exciting things going on in the greenhouse gardens right now too. Probably on top of my list is that our cider apple tree is almost in bloom. And this is this old heirloom variety of apple called a russet apple, used to make a hard cider. And this is gonna be its first year. It's been a twig for 3 years. And now we have leaves and almost blossoms, and that's really exciting. And then on this side, we got the pond up and going, and the sound of water in a garden, especially in the spring, is so welcomed. The bees are coming to drink, the robins are coming to drink. You find life really does just migrate to these watering holes. So this is a fun one to come and enjoy. You'll notice that throughout my gardens, I have all kinds of weird stuff. For example, these little broken terracotta pots. And actually, when I picked that up, a bug just flew out, which is exactly why I keep little pieces of pottery like this in the garden, because stuff likes to build homes in them and use it as protection from the rain. And I find the more little pockets of space you can create like this in a garden, the more life it brings come spring. We put in a big second pond this year, and there's a big story behind this that I want to share with you in another video. But in the meanwhile, we released some tadpoles into the pond, some bullfrogs that can live as tadpoles for up to 2 years.
From our bedroom window, we can hear the frogs from the pond already. And I know these tadpoles will hang out for a while, but some other frogs have already found the pond. And this idea of them getting to hang out there at night and sing their song, it really is a beautiful part of the spring garden.
You and I have commented recently on just how much life is brought to the garden through these ponds.
Water.
Yeah, the water invites so much activity and life that maybe we wouldn't really have unless we had these water features. And
it's true. A little bit of intention in these spaces cultivates so much life and beauty. And creativity and exploration for the kids. I don't think Owen has left the pond's edge since it's been built.
The whole idea of this pond is to have another water space to enjoy, but also to create a habitat for things that want to come and drink, like pheasants and robins and bees and butterflies and dragonflies and frogs. And it's in its beginning stages now, so I'm trying to be really patient while the landscaping grows in and while the animals come to find it. But the cool thing about this pond is we can see it from our living room. So really, this has kind of become our television. We find ourselves standing up in the window, staring down at the pond and seeing what we can see. Our bees made it through the winter, and that is not always a guarantee. We have 2 very healthy hives right now that are extremely excited for all the cherry blossoms. They're busy, like a bee. Springtime on the farm is certainly not just limited to the gardens, because there's a lot going on up in the barnyard as well. We had 2 sets of triplets this year and a single lamb, so we've got a dozen sheep right now up in the barn. And on top of that, Cece is very pregnant with her calf that's due in June. Hi, Lucy. Oh, Cece. Come here. Come here. They think it's time to go out to the pasture, but not quite yet. Look at them all. Oh, here comes the big girl. Hi, Zeus. Come here, Mama. They're getting your jacket all furry. But they're so cute. Oh, that big girl. How you feeling? She's losing all of her hair, shedding out. Hi, Lucy. Oh, that's a girl. That's a girl. She's come a long way.
Times like these, it is really important to stop for a moment and just appreciate what is beautiful around you. It's easy to miss when you get wrapped up in chaos and fear or whatever it is. It makes a big difference if you take a moment to breathe and appreciate what you have.